Hey guys, how you doing? We are back on live after a little break with Rolex Whiskey and waiting for Travis, who's going to be coming on from Dancing Goat Distillery. He's an amazing dude. Got a chance to meet him personally. Hey Rohit, how you doing? Going to have Travis on here soon, man. I know you like Travis and love Travis as much as I do. So Travis should be on shortly. Gonna give it a second and then we'll invite him on. How's everybody doing for the holidays? Rohit, I got to see Rohit recently at a party. It was a good time. TJG, how you doing? Travis in the house. Let's do this.
Yeah.
What's up?
Not much. How are you?
Good.
Good.
Christmas carols going. Yeah, happy holidays. Got a little Christmas carols going on in the background.
Nice. I like it.
Waiting to chat with you. Let's give it a minute. Let's have people log in.
Sounds good.
I got my gear ready. I got my goodies that my boy Travis has hooked me up in the past.
Nice. I like it.
I'm on. By the way, this is the first time I guess face to face saying thank you.
I pulled it out of the box. I showed you my special box of all my gear.
Yes, that's dope. That's a dope box.
Not a lot of people have seen that special box, you know.
Thank you very much, man. Travis showed me his box.
His box. Don't tell anybody. Yeah.
This was dope, man. Thank you. That was a nice surprise. I appreciate it.
Happy holidays, dude. Good Christmas gift, right?
Yeah. So when I'm smoking my cigar, boom, you know, it goes in there. I'll be sitting indoors right now, so I'm not gonna smoke in here right now. But
we'll show someone one of there too. We'll give away one of those Kentucky doubles on behalf of you. So.
Oh, that's sweet. That's awesome. And you got all this other cool stuff too that you have. You guys have really cool swag. I mean, I deal with a lot of big companies and they don't have this type of stuff. Like, holy shit. Yeah. How do you guys do it?
Yeah, you know, it's being creative, right?
Oh, I love that. I love that. I'm a marketing guy, so I love that. Look at these coasters, guys.
Yeah, it's actually you know, one thing that's kind of fun about those coasters, right? It's the guy who actually made our letterheads for our companies. It's you know, stamping the letterhead on the paper.
Yeah.
He stamped them in there too, which is great. And there's another one of my friends. It's called the Back 40 Leatherworks. If you ever follow me, he makes a lot of handmade leather stuff, handmade leather wallets and stuff like that. He's made you know, some really cool, obviously stamped, you know, Dancing Goat stuff for us, which is great. So
very cool. Yeah. I've had this stuff. Yeah, no, absolutely. It's great stuff. I've had this stuff sitting with me. You sent to me like a month ago, and I was waiting for a moment like this to be able to give it out. So I'm really excited to be able to give some of this stuff out today, guys. We have the hats. I have a couple of these hats. I have a bunch of samples for Limousine Rye of his, Travis. You sent me a bunch of glassware. So I have a lot of stuff. I have a big shipping expense coming soon, but I would love to do it because that's what we're here for, to share. But yeah, happy holidays, man. Thank you for doing this with me. I appreciate it. Looking forward to having a little jam with you. I'm going to crack open this little guy here.
Nice.
I have a big bottle, but I'm going to do the honor in a second. What do you got in your glass there? Obviously, I hope you have this. What are you drinking?
Yeah, you know, I do have a limo. You know what I mean? For sure. I mean, it's I'm actually at the Dancing Goat. You know, we can even later on, if we get bored, I can show you, you know, a few hundred barrels of limo if you want to see.
That's fantastic. So, guys, he's at the distillery now on a Sunday for us. That's amazing. I love it. So, we got a question already.
I see someone asked her, you know, just real quick, how we picked our name for the Dancing Goat, and so you met Big Tom, my business partner, and his son Nick. But I know you met Big Tom, and we were with Eric at the Scotch and Time event in Chicago.
Yes.
And so it's really cool. Actually, we were looking at some land to build our distillery on. You know, a few people have been here, and I know, you know, again, like Eric at Scotch and Time and Whiskey Wiseman, they kind of got a cool video on IGTV if anybody wants to check that out. And I know that you're maybe going to come here in January, which will be fun. But we're kind of out in the middle of the country. You know, we're set within a vineyards. We just didn't want to be in an industrial park. So one of a piece of land that we were looking at had a bunch of goats on it. And, you know, you met Tom, he's 6'8". You know, Tom Selleck looking guy with gray hair, you know, which is kind of funny. And, you know, we pulled up to the land, the goats were bad at him. And he goes, hey, if we buy the land, we get the goats, you know. So it just kind of stuck with us. But goats are stubborn, but they don't take themselves too seriously. But they know they're stubborn. If they want to get out of the gate, they're going to. But it's kind of like us. It just kind of fits our personality. So
yeah.
But you know, it's you know, to talk
why
about
dancing? Why dancing?
It's just fun, you know. So if you met our head distiller, Nick Moss, which is Tom's son, you haven't met him yet.
No.
You know, people ask me, how do you describe Nick? You know, and I always say he's like Freddie Mercury, cross between Bourdain and with a little twist of Flash, because he's a bodybuilder, right? He's just a big dude. He's always having a good time. He's dancing all the time, so it just kind of stuck with us. You know,
that's awesome. That's a nice marriage for the name. Yes. So somebody asked minis. These are 100 mLs for Dancing Goat Limousine Rye.
So which batch do you have there?
I have the batch 14 here.
Is it D or B?
B.
B. So you actually have one of the original mother loads, okay, which is kind of cool. So B14 for our batch is B is the second letter of the alphabet, right? So that was actually barreled for our nomenclature. It was barreled in February of 14. So that was our original mother load because we actually Solera finish everything. So the new batches that are actually out, which, you know, the D14 or the B14 doesn't exist anymore. Everything is D14. So that means that the youngest barrel that's in our Solera finishing system is actually from April 14. So as we put the youngest barrel that actually goes into our batch of Limousine Rye, because it's, like I said, it's Solera, so it's held back. So you got the original, you know, mother load, baby. You got the Jedi Knight.
That's awesome. I'm going to save this one then. That's amazing. I mean, I have a bunch of stuff from you guys, so that's amazing. I'll try to compare when I have different batches, maybe try them side by side. So how did this come about? I know you said Tom was originally, he's a big beam guy, right? He had a career in beam. But how did you get involved with this?
So I started out a little over probably 11, 12 years ago. And you know, like apple pie moonshine or like apple pie shots, you guys have that all out in your area.
By the way, I'm sorry to interrupt real quick, man, because got to sip on this. So cheers, man.
Cheers, brother.
Let's do this so we can sip freely and enjoy.
Sorry, I got somebody who's bothering me. You know, it's the Bernadette. You know, she's probably hoping Whiskey Nate's getting on there with Whiskey with the View. That's her.
There you go. There you go.
She's bothering me because she wants to go home from work, right? So here. So you're gonna cheers the Limousine Rye, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna pull out one of my secret sauces, which is the Rocknar Rye from Far North Spirits up in Minnesota, which I like American style whiskeys. You know, I mean, I'm all about, you know, educating myself all around the world, but I kind of like craft distilleries. That's just kind of the way it is.
Yeah.
But a little Rocknar Rye, cheers. You know,
cheers.
A little limo rye.
Yeah. So your involvement, how'd you get about with this?
Yeah.
This project?
So I started out making. I was the first guy who ever bottled apple pie in a bottle. Okay. And so when I started doing this, there were about 88 DSPs in the country, which is a distilled spirits permit, and you know this, which that number's climbing close to 3,000 in the country. So I started out making this homemade version stuff by my kitchen table. And just kind of along my journey, I met my business partner, which his name is Tom Moss. And he worked at Beam for years. You know, he actually created Knob Creek, Basil Hayden's, Booker's with Booker No. You know, I mean, he was a sales guy in the Beam world, and you know, his dad as well built the distillery in 8 different countries. He was kind of an original OG. His name was Dwayne Moss. And that's how, you know, we knew obviously Dave, you know, Pickerel and stuff, because
exactly.
Yep. Because back in the day, Dave and Dwayne worked together back actually at West Point, you know, and doing a lot of consulting together.
Yeah.
So yeah, so we came along, and about 5 years ago, we decided to, you know, we were all talking as a family, let's do something cool and let's build a whiskey facility. So, which is great.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So a lot of fun, you know.
Talk to me about this, what I have in my glass here. How did this project come about, and what it is, and then talk about the Solera system. You know, for the people who watch, you might not know it. You know, I know the rum world uses the Solera system a lot, but just, you know, basically educate us a little bit. I don't want to go. I'm not trying to be boring, but at the same time, education is an important part of this. So I want people to learn about it.
So real simple, right? 90% of your best whiskeys in the world are aged in used cooperage, right? You know, so kind of going back, and Tom actually had this idea. He was like, you know, with American whiskeys, like there's going to be a boom. You know, there's great American whiskey that's coming around. And then, so what we did is we actually took an American style traditional whiskey, but we actually aged Limousine rye in used bourbon barrels. Okay. So we source all kinds of bourbon barrels. We've got from Beam to Old Forester to Four Roses. We don't have a select type, and we actually put our rye in it, and that's the initial cast that we age it in. And what you get is less tannin in the wood, obviously, just like scotches, etc. So we aged it a little over 4 years, and then called Limousine rye or Limousin, if you want to, you know, go back to Benedict, you know, obviously when we were with her and, you know, from Hardy Cognac.
Yeah, Hardy, yeah.
You know, and we're like, hey, how's the real way to pronounce this? But, you know, obviously for Limousin or Limousin. But as I always say, we kind of dumb it down for Americans and call it Limousine, you know, from that standpoint. But we Solera finish it in Limousine oak, you know, and later on we can walk in there and I can show you guys a picture. We built a Solera finishing system. It's not Solera aged, but it's Solera blended, where we actually hold batches back within our Solera finishing system. And it's pretty cool. So, and that's obviously how it gets the name Limousine rye, because those barrels are actually, they're toasted. They're not charred. So it's a very good blending vessel. It's about 1,000 gallons. And, you know, we finish everything, obviously in our second cast. So
toasted versus charred. Yeah. What's the best way to describe it for people watching?
So toasted, you get your alligator char, right? So you look into the barrel, and as you can think about, you know, alligatorness from that area. And toasted is actually just, it's a lot lighter, you know, it's just burnt wood. You don't get that heavy alligatorness, you know, on there. It just kind of gets that brown toasting, and it picks up a little, you know, you pick up a little more different flavor to it. You know, you're gonna, out of the Limousine, actually, as you know, Corey will tell you, you know the whiskey monster, you had him on here. I was just with him out in San Francisco here a few weeks ago.
Good guy.
He's a great guy. And you do pick up a little bit of different banana notes and a little bit of different kind of fruitier notes with it. Because the Limousine oak, you know, from that region of France, the trees go dormant for a long time, but then they have a heavy growth period. So what that causes is a thick grain, but they're really tight together. And kind of being around the holiday seasons or Christmas time, whatever type of, you know, people, whatever they celebrate, if you cut a pine tree on the end, you can count the rings to see how old the trees are. On the Limousine oak, when you look at it, the rings are super tight together. And a lot of the trees that are actually, you know, harvested in France, they're 125 to 130 years old. It takes them that long to get the growth so you can actually make a barrel out of them. Compared to traditional Missouri oak, the trees have a longer growth period. You know, traditionally what bourbon's, you know, aged in from that standpoint. So it's just a lot of fun and creativity, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. The distillery was formed when? How long has it been?
We're a little over 5 years, actually, you know, from that standpoint.
It's a beautiful facility. I mean, I've not been, but I've seen pictures. Obviously, after the Scotch and Time series, I couldn't stay there for long, but you guys went out there. I was dreading not being part of it because it was such a cool experience seeing Eric's live videos from there, and obviously going on and checking out the pictures online of how beautiful the distillery is. You know, obviously being in the business, I've been to a few distilleries, and yours is bar none. It's just gorgeous. It's just gorgeous.
I appreciate that. And, you know, Eric's cool. You know, it's kind of funny. You know, this whole Instagram, obviously, stuff to me, I'm not going to say it was new, but it is new to me. And I've met a ton of great people through it. And, and through Eric, because I'm not going to call his thing an event. It's more of a series because it's more personal, and you get a lot of cool things there. It's not like going to a whiskey tasting festival, and you've been to them. He puts on a very good production that is nice and quaint, and obviously I've met a lot of you guys through there, and it's he's been cool, and he's been a good connector.
Yeah. Are you able to join the one in DC coming up?
Yeah, I think I am going to be able to get there for 2 days. So
nice.
Yeah. So I think we'll come out and
let's hang.
Yeah, dude.
Because,
I think Whiskey Nate's coming out, which Whiskey with the View and Lindo. The Whiskey Anorak. They were the first 2 people on Instagram I ever met, and I didn't even know that all this existed. I just thought Nate took cool photos, and I thought Lynn made cool dresses. So I sent them each a bottle, and then I was just like, I met a lot of cool people and just shared whiskey with them, which is great.
Yeah. Based on what we talked about so far, let's do a little giveaway of a hat.
Yeah.
So, the person to get the answer right in the comments below, basically will let you know you're right or not, and you can DM me, and I'll mail you the hat. Unfortunately, I'm gonna only keep it to U.S. Makes it easier to ship because this, $30 hat will be $25 shipping if I ship it internationally. So if you guys have a local person, even if you win. But anyway, go ahead. A question. You got a question for us that you could ask for a giveaway? Let's give away one of these hats.
You want me to ask a question?
Yeah, please. Come up with something that maybe we talked about already, possibly, or something that maybe we discussed. Yeah. Yeah,
for sure. So what batch do you have in your 100 ml? It'd be a letter and a year. Which is simple.
Yeah. So we talked about this, A through Z. So which batch is it? You need the letter and the number, you said, right? So it's about 30 seconds. There you go.
Yeah, you got it.
All right, cool. You guys pay attention. Farkadoom, please DM me. Your hat's going to be on the way. Good job. Everybody got it right. Everybody's paying attention. Man, you guys are too sober. Take some shots.
If they DM me some addresses, we can get them for them. So it'll be all cool, man. It's that's the fun thing is sharing with people, right?
Yeah.
And it's I don't know if a lot of people know that obviously that you're a spirit sales rep, and I commend you for what you do in the industry. It's in my career, I've traveled the country. I've worked with hundreds of reps. I've been in distilleries around the state, and I gotta say I'm very impressed with the passion that you have and the education that you take of all brands, even outside of your house. You just have a passion for it, and I'm proud of you. You do a good job, and I'm glad to be your friend.
Respect. Thank you very much. I appreciate it, man.
You can show Gavin my sweet watch, dude. I'm gonna start.
I got an iWatch on today.
I'm gonna start Timex whiskey.
Timex whiskey. I was messing with them, and I did a post once. It was a crappy watch, and I put it on a really expensive whiskey, and I called it Folex whiskey. Folex whiskey, and I hashtagged that. I tagged him on it too. So
it's kind of like cognac in time.
Yeah, exactly. Were you the one who created that?
No, it was Single Malt Alliance.
That's funny as hell.
Yeah.
So guys, we got the B14 right. Please DM us. We're gonna get you a hat each. Is that what you said, Travis? Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. So I got, just to clarify, I got the Beacon. DM us. TJG, Scotch Watery, Whiskey Edge, Whiskey Nick, SHMECHNAN, and MAFERIC Doom. That's a lot of winners.
We got a lot, some Wisconsin people on here. I got, you see that there, B. Colbeck 24. He and I played on the same hockey line as kids.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. You got some local support.
Which is great. He's a big fisherman now, but we spent a lot of time, listening to Ice Cube and hotel hockey locker rooms traveling the country. It was a lot of fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. That's awesome.
So everything you guys do is just such high quality. Like I work in the industry, for people watching for the first time. I work for a distributor, so I'm in sales and marketing for the last 10, 11 years, and I deal with a lot of different suppliers. So Dancing Goat Distillery is a supplier. I'm a distributor. Supplier supplies to a distributor. Distributor gets it out to the stores, the local market. That's how it works. And I deal with some big guys, big guns. Diageo's big. For example, they have Johnny Walker. they have Smirnoff, they have Kettle, they have a lot of major brands, Captain Morgan, and they have a lot of money, right? They're the big dogs. And they deal with a lot of big companies, and they'll deal with smaller companies. But I've never seen any company put in so much money in marketing, yet your product are not the price of Johnny Walker Blue. You know, the way the quality of this stuff, the quality of the hat, the quality of the glasses, and the quality of this bad boy that I got, which is just gorgeous. I mean, gorgeous. I want people to see it. I want people to see it. And then you guys brought up the old school PowerPoint. This is the old school PowerPoint, guys. They brought this out. This is amazing. It's a story, and you can learn, and it's a flip book of everything to learn about their distillery, which is amazing. There's nobody doing this. How do you guys? You guys obviously have a really good backing. I want to show this box a little bit because it's just quality material. It'd be tough for me to manage this on one-handed, but let's see, show the insights of this. Let me actually point this down. There you go.
Yeah.
Talk about this a little bit. What were your marketing concepts? How you guys do this?
Yeah, you know, it's as always, it's kind of like going back to the goat thing, right? You know, if you actually look on the bottle, you know, a lot of people always will ask us what DGFQ stands for, and it's always Dancing Goat for finest quality. You know, you got to put your best foot forward and believe in what you're doing, and it's fun, right? I mean, a lot of it comes through on our personality. You know, Tom, we kind of went through, he's got an awesome collection. You know, Tom, I think, is 64 years old. He's got an awesome collection of things that he gathered in his career of great, you know, point of sale, right? So we just wanted to bring our personality through and you know, what would we do and what do we think is quality and what do we think is cool and a little bit different of not being like everybody else. And those books are a lot of fun. We made them so they can sit on the back of bars in case, you know, they pop up like a trifold, they stand up like a table tent, which you're used to, right? Yeah. And, you know, the material can get wet, you know, bartenders can look at it. And, yeah, man, it's a lot of fun. You know, so I
think it's going back to quality basics as far as, you know, you're going to do something, you do it right.
Yeah.
Right from the beginning. And that's what you guys are doing. Like everything about you guys, I mean, I never heard of you guys a year ago. And then once I did, and obviously I met you, and you were a big supporter of my Instagram also. And I was excited to meet you when I met you in person. And the quality of the product is just phenomenal. It's really, really good. And everything you do behind it, from the smallest things, you just put attention to quality and detail. Speaking of attention to quality and detail, you heard as I was saying earlier, your distillery is beautiful. You want to give us a little walking tour?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, absolutely, we can. Let me.
You take over, we'll watch, and you try to maybe give us a tour.
Let me.
Probably what I would do is I would.
You ever had the little Mackenzie from up in New York?
Oh wow, yeah.
That's up in, you know, that's where I say I'm kind of the collector of American whiskeys, and it's kind of like you. It's when I go around and I meet people, right? You know, so at you know, ADI conferences for distilled people, it's you know, I kind of collect there, and you know, I like drinking their stuff. But I do got to show you one of my prized possessions too, which is obviously.
You know, I'm trying to find one. I haven't looked so hard, but yes.
You know, I got you know, Eric at Scotch and Time, I have a couple of these, and I'll get you one out. I actually sent Eric my only other one that Dave actually gave me personally.
That's awesome,
cool.
man.
This one will never be tapped. You know what I mean? I'll never open this. And this is actually from a couple of their first case runs that they ever made.
Oh, wow. That's special.
Because Dave actually, part of their run here, they actually kicked the brand off in Madison, and one of the spots was our distillery. So it was kind of crazy. If you go to our channel, you can see Dave blowing the whistle there. And it was kind of cool, surreal. You know, I've got to represent, you know, not a lot of people have this. This is one of the blending whiskeys for Whistle Pig, which is not proprietary. Some other people have them. And, you know, obviously with Whiskey Nate, you know, I mean, you know, Whistle Pig is dear to my heart. Because when they were actually here in Madison, the last time I actually think Nate saw Dave was him and I walking downtown in Madison, and Dave was
you know, I did an Instagram live with him, little toast to Dave, and you know, rest in peace. Instagram we did, and we were just talking about him, and he mentioned that basically out of nowhere, you know, you guys ran into him, which was so cool. What are the odds of being at the same restaurant?
Here's Dave Pickerel walking down the street slanging booze, right? You know. which is really cool. So, but yeah, we'll walk around the plant. That's where, you know, the little Miss Bernadette, she sleeps all the time, you know.
What you want to do, Travis, actually, if you can, is double click the screen.
Yep.
So that when you use the outside camera, it will probably come out a little bit better quality if you want. Yeah, now you
All
can
right.
point. That'll be better for a tour.
Those are always kind of cool, the big ass fans.
You know, the Angels Envy, and they had similar fans. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a special guy, right? That's a special company that designs them?
Yeah, big ass fans. You know, that's
Big Ass Fans. The company's called Big Ass Fans.
That's literally what the company's called, is Big Ass Fans. Yeah, you hit it on the head. So I'll get the light on here for us so we can actually see it.
Yeah. We're getting a little distillery tour.
Yeah.
At Dancing Goat Distillery from Travis. Travis, what's your title there, brother?
President. Yeah. President and co-founder.
Okay. Yep.
So here's we've got 2 stills and we got 2 more that are actually coming, but this is a 240-gallon pot still made by Specific Mechanical out of Victoria, British Columbia, which is a lot of fun. So we do some smaller type batch stuff. A lot of work, true pot still. You can see it's got the OG helmet on it for reflux, you know, pulling a little gravity, you know, aging a little bit better. But what we do is we actually have our distillery set up for educational purposes, right? So you could actually see when we had that Scotch and Time series where we made that weeded bourbon for Scotch and Timed. We actually came in and a bunch of influencers came in and they actually cooked the mash. We distilled it, we barreled it. So we actually made a Scotch and Time barrel. And then Eric is actually going to, in 4 to 6 years, whenever he thinks the taste is right, he's going to share it with everybody else. So, I mean, that's his choice of what he wants to do. Knowing him, he'll probably hog it all. But which will be fun. And hope you can hear me okay. So
yeah, perfectly fine.
So you can see there's a platform there, and all the way down is another platform. And then we have this platform here that actually works with all this is actually all piped together. Everything in here is all stainless steel, all hand welded. There's about 12 months worth of just skilled tradesmen. You know, obviously, you know, in here, we use no chemicals in our boilers. We use Wisconsin organic grain that comes in. So it's a pretty cool system. We just run reverse osmosis water through all of our lines. That way we don't get the hard water like you would at home around your faucets. And then we don't have to add chemical with like rod cast iron. We just use all stainless steel, which obviously cost-wise, but long-term benefits is great.
Yeah.
So our other still that we have is we dub it the Whiskey Rocket. All right. So this is actually a 68-foot continuous column still that actually is made by Headframe Spirits out of Butte, Montana. So both of our 2 stills we currently have in here are actually made by craft distillers. And this is a single pass through, obviously, column still. So whenever everything, you know, comes out the parrot into our stainless totes, it's actually coming off at a finished spirit. So here we can actually produce about 11 to 12 barrels a day. On the original OG pot still, if we worked at 365, 24 hours a day, we'd maybe get 180 to 200 barrels a year. So, you know, we do some different style stuff on all that. So
That's awesome.
Yeah, man.
What's your capacity at the distillery to create as far as on a weekly, monthly basis, and your storage in gallons?
Yep.
Barrels.
Yep. So yearly, yearly here, probably by about, you know, the time of next year, you know, it's our goal to be, you know, in that 3,500 to 4,000 barrels a year range. And then obviously start aging it. So, you know, we take our used bourbon barrels, right, for limousine rye. And here's your limousine Solera finishing system I was telling you guys about.
Okay.
So you can actually see all these barrels are actually plumbed together. If you could see that through the middle, all the way up.
Yeah. They're connected. They're all connected. There's a pipe going through them.
So they're all connected. You can even see the sight glass on the back, so we can tell volumetrically how full the system is. But believe it or not, this limousine oak is used wine barrels. Okay. So Nick and I actually brought these over, and Mike Reiber, who's our operations guy, we actually brought these over from France. took them over into Maine. We tore them all apart, and we actually shaved the red line out. And you know what the red line is. It's as far as the wine or the bourbon actually, or juice or whiskey will ever age into the wood. We actually shaved that whole red line out, re-coopered them together so we could get rid of all the wine in them, so we can get the virgin wood and re-toasted them. That way there was nothing that was ever going to taint our whiskey. So we actually air pump it from the bottom up. We do not go from the top down. We actually go from the bottom up. So we'll use an air pump, and that actually forces the juice all the way up so we can blend all of our whiskeys together.
That's very cool.
Yeah, and we actually put the air vents on top so we don't create a pressure vessel or a vacuum and actually explode the barrels. Currently, right now, those guys are actually conditioning this. So believe it or not, this barrel actually used to be at the very top, if that makes sense. Because there's nothing like this. I mean, it's something that we handmade. We baby it. You know, we soak the barrels down all the time and hydrate them. And basically in short term, this whole thing holds about 1,000 gallons. We'll drain half of it gravity feed, right? So then bottle 8 barrels stay full of our original B14 juice that you have. We'll dump more used bourbon barrels on our barrel dumper. We actually transfer them into stainless totes like right here. And we hook those up with an air pump. You can see all the piping that's on the side.
Yeah.
And we run an air pump and we force that new juice of the new barrels that we just dumped to blend it into our Solera finishing system so we can keep holding a setback of all the juice that we're constantly going out the door. So everly it kind of changes, you know. That's what's cool about it. You know, some people, the big guys like Beam and stuff, are trying to go for a consistent taste over years and hundreds of barrels that they blend in a batch. Our batches come out at about, 500 gallons. Nick, who is our head distiller and our head flavor, profile guy, kind of our head blender, he'll actually push things out at different proof. So if you see a D14 will come out, actually, I think he has that at 47% alcohol. Our batch B14 you have there is probably 46% alcohol. So he'll vary it just slightly by a proof just for what he thinks is the best flavor that's coming off of that batch. So,
Travis, just real quick, there's a couple questions if you want to scroll through and answer. For example, Scott Society 305 says, why did you decide to reverse the Solera?
Just because we figure we can get a better blend for it. So if you think about if you just dump things from the top down and kept pulling from the bottom, you would just kind of keep pulling juice through all the time. Whereas if we air blend it from the bottom up, we force that juice by air, and actually in these barrels, it actually almost creates like a vortex. It'll spin, right? And it'll actually, that air just pushes everything all the way up through. And it just works as actually a better blending vessel, if that makes sense.
That's pretty damn cool, yeah. That's pretty,
so we just decided to turn the box upside down,
Hey, mad scientist, love it.
Yeah.
Invent something new.
Yeah, and these are the fermenters that actually feed the whiskey rocket. So those other tanks that you saw out there are actually 240 gallons. These are actually 3,800 gallons a piece, and we have 6 of them that are fed by 2 1,800-gallon cookers. And all these tanks are actually made right here in Wisconsin, which is pretty cool. So,
anybody watching this, if you have Limousine Rye, take a selfie with it, DM me. This video is going to be on YouTube. I'm going to include those pictures. If you have a bottle of Limousine Rye at home, take a selfie, DM me. I'm going to add those pictures at the end of the YouTube video.
See, Gavin collects watches. We collect barrels of whiskey. Which is cool. So, but yeah, man, just a lot of fun. This warehouse here actually holds about 1,800, and we've got a site plan made out that actually we're going to be able to add on our acreage here 3 more rick houses, and each one of those will hold 3,000 to 4,000 barrels, just to kind of depend on how our size comes out. So, which is a lot of fun.
You're set for a future, yeah. You're set for the near future, yeah.
Yeah, and it's kind of cool. Like, this is a barrel finishing room, right? So you can see how the curb is actually all the way around the room, and it's kind of like a small square box. So we actually put like a dike levee over the doors. So when we're actually dumping barrels, if we have a spill, we can actually contain that, and obviously not dump aged juice down the drain. But obviously we keep this floor clean, and it's just kind of hedges our bet. Then that way too, we're not wreaking havoc on the local sewer system either, dumping straight alcohol down there. So
That's true. That's true.
but yeah,
Now,
man,
how far are you from the closest airport, and what's the closest airport?
closest airport's Madison, Wisconsin.
Yeah.
And we're literally 15 minutes from downtown Madison. So Madison's, roughly with all the suburbs around it and everything is about 600,000 people. So, but then we're in a little artsy fartsy town, I like to call it, called Cambridge. There's a lot of artists here. There's a lot of pottery. It's really cool. But here's how our grain actually comes in, which is cool. So these are about 2,500 pounds of grain.
Wow.
Currently, we have about, we source it through, all organic farmers in Wisconsin. So we use about 2,200 acres of land. And we actually have it aging all throughout Wisconsin. That way we can hedge our bet in case there's a drought, a storm, some crops will grow, and then, we're working with the local farmers from there. And then, eventually our stillage will go back to be fertilizer on the crops that we're using. So, yeah, we do make some bourbon. This is kind of what a Scotch and Time barrel bourbon is. So this is actually all Minnesota oak. It's not Missouri oak. But these are just kind of what our heads look like when we're, for our bourbons that we'll make. And the reason why we use Minnesota oak is because it actually has a shorter growth period, but a healthier growth period, because farther north, actually the trees go dormant quicker than they do in Missouri. So the grains get tighter. So we just feel that's the closest French oak that we can get in the United States. So,
Man, I can't stop drinking this limousine rye.
yeah, man.
Most of the other drams I have all the time when I do this, I go to 4 or 5 different ones, during a session. But I don't feel like having anything else. This is like so good. So, I'm a cognac guy, right? Also, so I always had a passion for cognac. It has that sweetness of a cognac, which is, I'm really, really loving.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. So yeah, I'll give you. Let me know if I lose my feed, because I'm kind of in the way back of the building.
Yeah.
But as always, like with Eric with Scotch and Time, I'll send him always a picture of, it's still aging, buddy. It'll see in probably 5 to 6 years, but there's some cool names on there. We got Nick Carbone, Whiskey Wiseman, which is great. Obviously we got Scotch and Time is in there, which is great. He wrote on there Cigar Lover 12, obviously, and Whiskey Nick. He's from Milwaukee, which is great too. So
yeah.
And then the most important one, Bernadette. The lovely black lab puppy.
That's awesome.
Well, yeah, man. So
it's a beautiful facility, man. Nice and neat and clean. I've been to a lot of wineries. I've been to a lot of distilleries. Been to cognac distilleries too. And this is a really beautiful operation. You guys keep it brand new, like it was 5 months old. It's 5 years old.
It's funny. The coolest piece of equipment in here is actually the floor Zamboni. So, we got a couple guys that when they don't want to be lifting sacks and, cooking and stuff, because I always say if you're a leaning, you should be a cleaning.
Look at this spot.
So it's kind of fun.
Show this room a little bit. This room is beautiful.
Yeah. So I'll show you
look at this. Just the flooring alone.
Yeah.
So this is where when people come in for a tour, by the way, people watching came in late. This is Travis. He's a president and co-founder of Dancing Goat Distillery. We're having some limousine rye, and we're talking about stuff. They have a beautiful distillery, which is about 5 years old. He's just giving us a little tour. This video will be on YouTube later.
So you can see it, obviously it's Sunday night, so we closed up at 5, and we don't run a bar, right? We run a tasting room, but people can come in here and get great cocktails, from that standpoint. And
love the high ceilings. What's the metal stuff up above there? What is there something that right, the railing? What is that?
Yeah, here I'll show you. So my dad is a retired diesel mechanic and fabricator, right? So this square
Yeah.
tubing, you know, and mats, right? So all this square tubing that actually is hanging in here is stuff that actually I remember my dad always in his shop, you know. So I would always be there, and we were kind of looking for some light cages and just some different styles.
Yeah.
And actually see how the light cage, you know, is cantilevered actually off of the side of the wall.
Yeah.
So we actually hang all of our lights all the way around our bar on it.
That's cool. Okay, I see. Okay.
Yep.
Hey, it's really cool. Yeah, the way it's designed.
Yep.
Obviously, big ass fans.
Yeah, ceiling height's about 39 feet, actually. You know, everything up on top is actually all reclaimed wood, all from around Wisconsin. That's one of our offices that's actually up on top. And then conference room and a couple more offices are actually back up on top that kind of overlook the tasting room. So, well, yeah.
So this whole project came about. Do you feel, looking back at it, and then now fast forward 5 years later, do you feel like, wow, your dream came true? This is surreal, no? This is gorgeous.
Yeah, you know,
it's a beautiful facility.
You know, I like, you know, I've always kind of been a construction guy and a welder's kid. You know, my dad was a welder. I've always liked building stuff. And, but I've always liked marketing as well, right? So this is kind of both best, you know, avenues of the world. I've come along great people in my life. You know, I've been lucky enough, fortunate enough. I ask a lot of questions. You know what I mean? Even you can even ask Eric this. I had no idea how to use Instagram, and I'm bothering him all the time. Like, how do you even do a post? You know what I mean? And which is kind of funny, but no, it allows me to create and be creative and work with good people. My business partners are great. We all have different personalities, but we're all able to listen to each other at the end. You know, we all argue, we all cry, we all laugh, but at the end of the day, we're all positive. And, you know, life is good. And, you know, it's kind of like Brene Brown, right? You know, creativity makes you vulnerable, right? So if you don't put yourself out there, you're never going to create something cool. So
100%.
Yeah.
You could be a dreamer. You're just going to keep dreaming. You got to put it into action, you know?
Yeah.
And you got to be positive and just move with it. That's great. And you have a lot of great experience. So this is a really, really beautiful project. And what is there a new thing coming up? Is there something else you're working on the next couple of years?
No, this is kind of cool. I see Whiskey Nick actually, you know, says like this is actually one of our whiskey bottles, right? But this is what our label looks like for our barrel aged maple syrup, which, you know, it's kind of cool. A lot of places do this, but you know what's special actually about this is Tom Moss, who you met. He grew up on a farm in Shawano, Wisconsin. His dad, and if you look through that flip book, you'll see a guy in the back of the flip book that actually is Dwayne H. Moss. This maple syrup actually comes off, you know, some of it does, not 100% of it, but a good chunk of it actually comes off of the farm that Tom grew up on, you know, and Dwayne loved maple syrup. So, yeah, so his grandson, Nick, who is our head distiller, you know, it's kind of his pet project that he does, and which is cool. We actually put in those whiskey bottles, and they actually go into accounts that are around here. And making, you know, making cocktails. We do a great maple smash here, you know, maple old fashions. You know,
that's awesome.
It's good juice. And I see, if you see that there, Ryber.m, he says really great maple syrup. He's actually our chief operations officer. He's down in Kansas.
How you doing, man?
Family down in there. And
thanks for signing on. It's an honor to have you.
I'm surprised he actually figured out how to, you know, there's Whiskey by Fire, dude. He's a good dude. He's out in New Jersey. You know, he's great. So
yeah, he's a good dude too.
Lots of good people for sure. So
yeah, man. Yeah. Let's do another giveaway. I could do these coasters. You got a question for us that can give away coasters to maybe 2 winners? I got 4 of them, so I'll give a pair.
You give a pair away?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll do a fun one, right?
Yeah.
So
get ready, guys. The correct answer basically put in the comments.
So
and
my
the first 2 people to get it right.
My pride and joy is not whiskey, okay? So my little pride and joy is my black lab puppy. So whoever can know what her full name is, which it's only one name, can obviously get the coasters. So
I love it. I love
she's
it.
Insta famous, right?
That was
there
the same
it is.
name.
Right there, Miss Bernadette.
There you go.
So,
First two people.
Everybody knows I have a crush on Bernadette from The Big Bang Theory, so that's actually where the name came from. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
So the Beacon and MFERCRIC, please DM us, and we'll DM me, and I'll get these out to you guys.
Yeah. So, which she's running around the tasting room with a cork in her mouth, just having a great time, obviously. And as I walk up to her, she'll run away from me. You know,
because she knows you're gonna want to take it back.
What's that? Hey, can you sit? Bernadette.
How you doing? Say hi to Instagram.
Yeah, right. So it was actually kind of funny, you know, because if you actually go to my page, or even you know, Whiskey with the View, Whiskey Nate, he actually came into Wisconsin like that, and we went hiking in a place called Devil's Lake, and it was cool because he's a big dog guy with Sky. You know, that's always going to be his and my connection. It's not whiskey, it's actually dogs. You know, we're kind of those weird guys that love our dogs. But there's an awesome sunset picture with him and her sitting on a rock.
Really?
Yeah, it's really cool. So
I got to check that place out. I'm not a huge physical guy, but I don't mind hiking a little bit because I only do it once in a while. I'm a big, huge nature's guy. So, you know, seeing natural beauty and try to capture it, you know, obviously it's surreal when you're in that environment. It just, you know, it feels like just very laid back, so to take it all in. So I do enjoy that. So maybe when I'm out there, I would love to check it out. Yeah.
So Jazz, you asked me a question like, what's next, you know, and all that fun stuff. And
yeah,
it's kind of funny. It's our philosophy is we're going to launch something, we're going to spend our time to it, not hop to something new. You know what I mean? And some of the liqueurs, obviously, that you're familiar with that we've sold in the past over our career, and obviously moved into our distilled spirits. But what we actually kind of do, which is fun actually at the distillery, is we have a label that's called Trials and Tribulations. Okay, so what we do, this is everything that we play in. You can only actually buy it at the Dancing Goat. You know, these are actually 375s. We sell them for $10. You know, they're nice and cheap, but we actually get what we leave comment cards of what actually people like about it. So we're not taking about what we think is the coolest thing in the world. And this actually happens to be a wheated vodka that we made, just to try out to see what grains, what people like, etc. But in here, we actually put you know, whatever, it's inevitable what we can put in there, different whiskeys that we try, and just get the public's opinion instead of us saying, hey, what's cool? You know, can we talk about ourselves some more? What's everybody else think that we should, you know, put the goat's foot best forward instead of us putting us forward, you know, because it's all about the goat at the end of the day.
Yeah, absolutely. That's amazing. You know, that's that way you keep getting the feedback. So these cards are laid out in the distillery itself. When people purchase it, they try it out, or they send a card in it's like a post type of thing. How does it work?
Right here, we taste it. There's 5 simple questions. You like it or not? Obviously. What do you like about it? What do you normally drink? And you know, would you recommend it? You know, or what flavor profile actually is another question that's on it. So and
then you compile this data.
Trials and Tribulations, which is fun. You know,
that's really cool because you get an idea for what the public likes and what they enjoy.
Yeah, so
that's awesome, man.
But dude, I feel like I just data dumped my whole life on you. I felt like, you know, as I call Instagram the Tinder for whiskey, right? You know, I figured that you and I were speed dating, and all I'm doing is talking about myself, and then you're like, this guy just talks about himself all the time.
No, but the way I look at it is, this is for me is 2 guys hanging out at the bar. I just met you, and you know, I thought you were really interesting. You have something interesting going on, and I want to learn more about you. So that's the way I treat it.
I love it. Cheers.
Yeah, man.
Yes. You know, it's fun when you're creating and you're out working and you're letting other people talk about your brand and not you trying to push things. And it's actually kind of fun throughout the bartenders. And this is actually happening in San Francisco and Wisconsin and a little bit in LA too, where it's actually getting dubbed limo rye. And what's kind of why? And I was like, why is everybody calling it limo rye? But it, you know, if you actually look on a check register, when I kept getting receipts after buying drinks, limousine rye was just really long for people to put in there. So all the POS systems were saying limo rye. And it's kind of funny how that's actually caught on through the bartending community.
That's a good ring to it.
People are dubbing it limo rye already, which is great.
It's kind of in a way saying like VIP rye, limo VIP. It's like kind of that type of thing. So I think it's like a baller thing to say, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
So let's do another giveaway. You can send me a bunch of these amazing glasses, Glencairn glasses. I'm assuming these are done by our common friend.
Well, I have some here that are done from our good friend Barrel Rays. Those actually, I met him after, obviously, that we bought those. We buy, some pallets of those.
Of course.
Meeting him, obviously, through the Instagram community, he did a bunch of magnets that we're going to come out with in 2019. Like you're saying about different things that come out with.
Yeah.
Even like the Kentucky doubles, from that nature. Right. And if you want to give one of those,
I have 3. I can give away 3 of these. So you want to ask another question? Again, guys, post the answer.
If you'd like to give out one of these, I can send it on your behalf.
All right. You know what? Let's do 3 of these.
Yeah.
All right. Let's do 3 of these right now with another question, and then we're going to do a really hard question for that Kentucky double, because that Kentucky double piece is $100.
Yep. That sounds good.
So let's do a question for this.
Let's do a question for that. Okay. What was the very first brand that flavor profile that the kitty stuff that I made way back when I started my career? And it's a holiday. I'll give a hint. It's a holiday flavor around Thanksgiving. But yeah, man.
That should be easy. Come on, guys. There you go. TJ got it. 1. First 3 winners.
Yeah.
Doe got it. And MF. That's 3 for 3, MF. Good job, man. First 3 people. DM me. We'll get you your glasses. Don't forget to DM us so that way we know.
I see Whiskey Watches is on there. You remember him from Chicago?
Yeah.
Up in Michigan. What a great guy.
Yeah. Amazing dude.
Yeah.
We have I'm assuming we have about 7-8 minutes left.
Cool.
So because Instagram, the way it works is 1 hour timer and it shuts off on you abruptly. So besides the work stuff, man, personal stuff, everything good in life, everything good as far as
Jazz, my life's a fairy tale. It's literally, Eric, Eric from Scotch and Time, him and Nick have been to my house. Nate's been to my house too. I live on a lake in Wisconsin. I drive back roads to a distillery. I work with great people. I have a beautiful lady. I've, obviously made mistakes in the past and learned from those mistakes and done
That's all right.
things. Met a lot of good people, a lot of great experiences, and, life is good. I never know what day it is, right? Because I work every day, and that's not like saying I work harder than everybody else.
No,
I love to work.
You enjoy what you do.
Yeah.
You're enjoying building something.
Meet great people. I put a little over 200,000 miles on last year. This year, actually marketing booze, which is fun. That's right.
When you come out to Jersey, make sure you hit me up so we can.
He does the traveling gig.
Charles was here. Yeah.
It's always on my backpack that goes everywhere with me. With Charles, he's a good dude.
Yeah, good guy.
So
he's got a good power too.
He does the selfie trap, the transit selfies.
Yeah, exactly. And he's a great photographer. We have a couple of really great photographers in our industry.
Yeah. So we'll do that Kentucky double giveaway.
Yeah, let's do it. It's got to be a really tough question. There's only one of these.
Okay.
So it's going to look something like this, guys. And it comes in a nice box. I mean, this is legit. This is good stuff.
Yeah.
And this is from Kentucky Double.
So from the guy who actually kind of introduced me into and introduced me to a lot of people in this Instagram community, and he has his own barrel aging here. What is his Instagram handle?
That's pretty easy. Okay, let's see. The first one to get it right.
Yeah. We'll see. Right.
Oh, yeah. No, it's going to get it. It's just a 20-second delay. That's all it is. You're getting a bunch of people.
That's easy.
Come on, man. You could have typed the thing. You would have won it. There you go. Andy.
Yeah. So,
Andy got it.
I'll tell you what. Jazz, you DM me his address. Have him send it to you. And
Andy is a neighbor. He lives about 3 blocks away from me. So mail it to me. I'll get it to him.
All right, bud. Yeah.
You have, that's an easy one.
That's good. How about you give him yours and I'll replenish yours? How about that?
Done. They're very easy. Andy, you got this coming to you, brother.
Yeah, dude. He introduced me actually to obviously the Kentucky Double. You know, good people. So.
Yeah.
But no, hey, Jazz, congratulations to you. You know, it's this is pretty cool. Even sitting there flipping through, it's kind of funny. I was talking to Eric, and I said we're going to be Jimmy Fallon and Chris Farley doing a little interview, which is a lot of fun. And you know, you do a good job. It's actually cool to see the personalities behind what you see on the screen. And a lot of times, it's cool to actually put a name to faces. And meeting people. Which it's you know, congratulations, man. You do a good job.
You know what's freaking cool? I ended this 12 Instagram personalities with you, and I'm glad it worked out for you to be the last one to do it, because you're an incredible individual. You can, when you meet somebody, within 5 seconds, you could tell the type of personality the person has. Is it a good one? Is it a bad one? Is it a great one? Is it a saint one? And you are all the positive things combined, man. You're an amazing, amazing individual. You're all heart. You're a big teddy bear. You are very humble, down to earth. I would never believe, anybody who runs into you would never believe you're a president and co-founder of a huge project, a distillery like that. Yeah. So kudos to you for staying humble. My boss in the industry always says, you know, no matter how big you get, no matter how much success you have, always stay humble. Yeah. And you have that to the T. You're an amazing individual. So I really appreciate you doing this with me. And I really sincerely love the fact that you're the last one doing it with me. So
well, cheers.
Cheers. Yeah. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and Happy New Year. Guys, any last thoughts, any last questions for Travis? We're going to be wrapping up in about 2-3 minutes here.
Thanks for the kind words. I appreciate that. Without good people around me, it never would happen, right? So, but dude, this to go on to talk about whiskey, though, you guys got to Google Rocknar Rye. It's awesome. It's actually a true, they grow their own rye. I've never met them in person, okay? It's like, it's just something, they have, I've talked about it a couple times. It's actually made by Rocknar, okay? His name is Rocknar. They're I believe that they're Norwegian, you know, way up in, you know, then they have Gustav gin made by Gustav, you know, it's pretty cool. So check them out.
That's awesome. So. Again, if you guys are having this bad boy, please take a selfie, send it to me. I'm going to include it in the YouTube video towards the end. MFER says, I'll take a selfie from work with a pallet of limousine.
Nice. How about take a selfie with your dog and smile and have fun and give it a thumbs
I love it. I love it. I'll take that too.
Hold a picture of whiskey with a view, you know what I mean? Which is cool, dude. I love that.
Yeah. Redo that one. But I look forward to seeing you in January, man. Let's hang out.
Sounds good, bud.
If you're going to come for 2 days, try to come for a third day. We'll chill out. We'll have a relaxed day.
Going in on Thursday or Wednesday, or when you going in?
I'm going to try to go in for Thursday, yeah. I'm going to try. You know what? I'm not too far, so I might go Wednesday night.
Yeah. I see Charles just popped down there with his hand.
Yeah. Charles said he loved the number 12, man. So, again, thank you again, Travis. Much appreciated, man. Yeah. Charles, look, he's got the pin.
Check out his pins.
Cheers, man. Happy holidays. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Everybody who won, please DM, and we'll send the goodies out to you.
Happy holidays,
beauty.
Cool. See you, Jazz.
Go home, brother.
Yeah. I'll catch up.
Cheers, man.
Cheers.